Hello, and welcome to Jazz Tonight. I'm Michael Jacobi, executive producer of Jazz on the Plaz and host of Raising the Standards on KCAT Radio in Santa Cruz. Delighted to have you with us as we continue our summer-long homage to the great Ella Fitzgerald, and I am so excited. You know, I'm smitten. We have got a guest who's joining us this week, Sarah Mckenzie.
Hello.
Hello, Sarah. How are
Hello.
you?
I'm so well, thank you.
We are so delighted that you're coming and that you're here tonight. I say tonight, by the time you folks, as my usual disclaimer, see this interview, she will have been long gone. And if you didn't catch the concert, you would have missed out of a very special evening, because it's going to be. Now, what part of Nebraska are you from?
Nebraska?
Oh, it's the wrong accent. You're Australian.
I'm from Australia. I'm from down under, from
under.
Melbourne, Australia. So.
Well, we talk about in the American Songbook of From Natchez to Mobile, but you've been from down under to Boston.
That's right.
To Paris.
Yes.
To London.
Exactly.
As Chuck Berry would say, you move around like a wayward summer breeze.
Yes, I even wrote a song about it, Road Chops,
Road Chops,
for life
yeah.
living on the road.
Yeah, it's like Peter Allen's tune Bi-Coastal.
Oh,
but
yeah,
you're
fantastic.
Bicontinental. Talk about how it all came together. Talk about a lot of music in the house growing up.
No. Actually, I come from a medical family and a family of engineers, so science, mathematical people, and I'm a little bit the black sheep of the family.
Yeah.
But I love music. I got into jazz through a rock and roll and blues piano teacher who really inspired me with his great feel and blues piano playing. And then one day he said, "Sarah, you've got the feel for this. You want to check out jazz?" And I was like, "What's jazz?" But
you finally someone that was in a rock and roll band. Were you in a rock and roll band in high school?
I was. I had my own rock and roll band.
And what was it called?
The Effigy of Now. Oh, it's a
The
terrible
Effigy
now.
of Now. That's
yes.
Big business cards. That's
Exactly. We played Young Einstein. Yeah. I loved it. It was so much fun.
And you were the lead singer, the ingenue?
I was the pianist.
The pianist. And now, what came first, the piano or the vocals?
The piano came first, but I always sang and wrote songs. So that's what I've always loved to do, sing, play, and write songs.
So now, did you write poetry before you started playing the piano?
No.
Oh, so it all came at once?
Absolutely. No, the music really determines, and the melody,
Right.
determines what the lyrics should be as well. If you're going to say, "I'm a fool to want you," it's got to be sad, it's got to be minor, it can't be happy. So, I think they're very interlocked, the music and the lyrics.
And so, did you have the obligatory piano lessons?
I did.
Were you dragged to them, or is it something you wanted?
No, once I found my blues and rock and roll piano teacher, I loved music.
How old?
It was my absolute favorite thing, to play the blues, to play boogie-woogie piano. It was just everything. And then I discovered Oscar Peterson.
Okay.
Night Train.
Now, how old were you during all this?
9 years of age.
9 years?
That's right.
I like that.
And from 13,
The little white
I really
blonde
got into
girl
jazz.
from down under playing boogie woogie. I like that sound.
Oh no, it was my absolute passion. None of my friends liked jazz, but I really did. Yeah.
So 9 years old, you start, but you just went out and got lessons, or how did you get hooked up with the rock and roll guy?
Well,
you're 9, you're going door to door, going, "Do you play?" or what?
No, my dad, he saw that I was having classical lessons initially, and that wasn't going so well. I wasn't interested in the scales and the studies. I found it all very boring. What's the point of doing this, And so he thought he'd change the approach. So he found this great teacher who was very inspiring for me, and I never looked back from that point.
That's great. I should tell you, jazz, of course, is based so much on spontaneity, and you're going to hear construction sounds going on throughout the show, and it can't be avoided, but we're in the middle of doing some construction here at Los Gatos High School, and it's part of the deal. So, but we appreciate you tuning in. With Sarah Mckenzie. Okay, so you're obviously tell me you're not in a rock and roll band at 9 years old.
No.
That would have made me uncomfortable. So you get into high school, and you're starting to write, starting to do arrangements then?
That's right. I actually played trumpet in the high school band.
Really?
Yes. So
marching band?
No, it was a jazz band.
It was jazz. Oh, okay.
Like
yeah.
a full big band, 20-piece. And I loved that because I could be in the section and I was on lead trumpet, trying to get those high notes happening.
Do you know our friend Bria Schoenberg?
I do. Well, not
Bria
personally,
is a
but
dear
she's
friend of ours, and
wonderful. Really,
she's been here
great.
2 or 3 times, and it's neat.
No, I love her playing, and I definitely wouldn't.
Do you still play?
No, I wouldn't want you to ask me to play now.
Can we bring that trumpet out? Well,
Hey, no,
we
don't do that.
We don't have it. Okay, so you're in the high school jazz band. Do you think it'd be this delving into your past? First trumpet. Where does it go from there?
Well, I loved jazz. I fell in love with the music, and so I took it on to university. So I first studied in Perth, so on the west coast of Australia, and I loved that. I studied arranging under who I'd like to call our Johnny Mandel, a great film composer and arranger in Australia. And then I was very lucky. I received a full scholarship to the Berklee College of Music.
In
so
Boston.
I studied in Boston. That's right.
Which gave you the ill-advised Red Sox following, but we're not going to go there.
Go the Red Sox.
How big of a culture shock was that to get to Boston? I mean, did you grow up in a smaller town?
No, I grew up in Melbourne's a really
big town, yeah.
You know,
Okay.
it's a city.
It's cosmopolitan.
I think the biggest shock for me was the temperature change.
Yeah,
Boston is really cold.
it's really cold.
It's like 6 months of snow, you know.
Yeah.
So for me, the idea of actually studying at one of the world's most prestigious jazz schools in snow, you know, in these conditions was quite
Now, when you
strange.
go to a school like Berklee, is it how much is it self-design? I mean, do they say what do you want to do? Obviously, there's a core classes, but I mean, your emphasis was on arrangement or theory, or what was it?
So I think I was lucky because I was a little bit older. I was 24 when I started that course.
Oh, yeah, old woman. Yeah.
No, it made the difference
Sure.
because there were a lot of 18-year-olds there, and that's their first time in college and their first time away from home, and they're probably thinking, you know, party, and I don't know who I am, and I want to explore that, and that's fantastic. But I guess the advantage for me was that I was a bit older,
Sure.
and I knew what I wanted to do. So I want to be a great singer, a great piano player, a great composer, and a great arranger. So I sought out the very best teachers for all of those 4 disciplines and really honed in on that.
And the fact that you were married with 3 kids, then it worked. That was really good for your maturity.
No, I was completely focused on the music. I'm very serious about that. I was really focused on the music.
Well, tell me. I'm not sure how to phrase this, but in terms of your natural talent, which natural talent lent it to the curriculum the easiest? I mean, did you really have a pretty good handle on being a vocalist, or did they like start you more from scratch?
I think that I'm lucky with jazz because jazz is about expressing yourself, you know, and your style and what you bring to the table, I think. So I already had a sense of what, you know, the limitations are with my voice and what I can do. And also my style, you know, it's a bluesy jazz. I love the swing, I love the tradition, but I love to write my own songs too. I think mainly I just wanted to really, you know, develop, you know, you can always learn more, you know, on the piano, different harmonic options, different voicings. You know, you can strengthen your voice. I had a classical teacher at Berklee. I had a fantastic jazz singer, you know, teach me as well. So just giving you more options. I think probably the arranging side of things was one of the most eye-opening things for me.
Now, does Berklee? I know New York very well. I don't know Boston well, but do they put you in clubs? Do they say, hey, you know, they set you up and go out? So while you're in school, you're out performing?
Well, no, not exactly. I mean, Berklee's a little bit like life, which is what I really liked. You know, there's a lot of people, a lot of talented people there from all around the world. But you've really got to, I think, knock on the doors, you know, and find your opportunity. And I really tried to get involved as much as I possibly could. And I found an opportunity where I could record on video one of my original songs, a song that I wrote called That's It, I Quit.
Wonderful tune.
About all of my frustrations in life. Thank you very much. And through doing that, through putting myself out there, the Boston Symphony Orchestra saw that video and they said, we want to have that tune, we'd like to arrange it for the orchestra, would you perform with us?
Oh, wonderful.
And from that also, Berklee asked me to take a student group to the Monterey Jazz Festival that year and play at Dizzy's. But I think it was only through really putting the effort in, myself, that then did I open up those
Well,
opportunities.
I think the best of educations are ones that don't necessarily give you anything, but put you in a position to get something.
Exactly. They don't hand things to you on a silver platter. You've really got to work for it, and I really like that, actually.
Try as I may, they never did. I stayed in school a long time. We're going to take a quick break. We're with Sarah Mckenzie on Jazz Tonight. I'd like to do a big shout out to the folks at Pruneyard Cinemas for their kind sponsoring of the show this year. Pruneyard Cinemas is wonderful. You got to check it out. The South Bay's only dine-in theater where they bring the food to your seat, and also have marvelous handcrafted cocktail bars called the Cedar Room. Tell you a little something about that now. You're going to be right back with Sarah Mckenzie.
Hello, and welcome to Pruneyard Cinemas, Silicon Valley's most unique movie-going experience, and the South Bay's only service-to-your-seat luxury theater. Since this concept is probably new to many of you, let me take a moment to help you make the most of your visit. At the Pruneyard, the show starts long before the film begins. From our media wall in our lobby, keeping you up to date on happenings here at the theater, to our concessions area, which is, well, pretty special. Oh, you had dinner and cocktails in mind? Well, you came to the right place. Our chef-driven kitchen and Cedar Room offers seasonal bites which pair perfectly with our craft cocktails, draft beers, and local wines, and are all available at the bar and at your seat. It's really quite simple. If you'd like something from concession, something from the kitchen, or from the bar, just press the call button to your right, and one of our servers will be with you in no time. So that's it, just place your order. Thank you. They will be back with your check long before that critical scene in the movie. Our goal is to not disrupt you or your neighbor's experience. So just put up your feet and enjoy the show.
Welcome back to Jazz Tonight. Jacobi with you with our guest Sarah Mckenzie. We also want to thank, we make a joke out of this every week, because the good folks at Tailor Made Golf were kind enough to give us these director's chairs, which inevitably we sit against and their logo doesn't show up. But you're nice enough, you're good at this, to lean over to actually buy a vowel, and you can read Tailor Made on there, and we thank them for that. And thank the truck that's about to back up into the studio. What brings you here? People often ask me, how do you get these marvelous people to come here? And my answer is always, I pay them. But in addition to that, I discovered, I think, your video, and because I do a jazz show, so I think your people may have sent me the CD of Paris in the Rain. And the video is just so charming.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Thank
Did you
you.
write the tune?
Yes.
I love the tune.
Really?
I just
Thank
love
you.
it. And it's so charming. And if you go to YouTube, Google it, or it's on your website, Paris in the Rain by Sarah Mckenzie, and you have all these great shots by the Seine across the river from Notre Dame. Was that tough to do? Did you have to push everybody aside? You know?
Actually, it was...
I think of La La Land. He goes, okay, we've got an hour on the freeway.
I have to say, it was so much fun because we had about 13 crew there blocking off the roads.
Okay.
You know, and I was wearing a dress. The black dress that I'm wearing was 8,000 euros.
Really?
Yes,
Okay.
by a French designer.
Yeah.
So I felt like a movie star.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
So no, it was incredible. How amazing to have your own tune. You know, make a music video for that in Paris.
Oh, I mean,
with these wonderful dancers we had as well. It was a dream. It was really great.
Well, then the people will fall in love with you and that tune as well this evening. Let's talk a little bit about, with Ella behind us, talk a little bit about your early or continuing influences of singers who had a big, profound effect on you.
Well, I think Shirley Horn is probably my lady because she's a singer and a pianist, you know, and I'm very, very interested in that because that's what I do. Of course, fantastic.
Diana Krall,
artist.
who's a great, you know, and I've said this before on the air, and I shouldn't keep saying it. She'll never do Jazz on the Plaza now. But I thought that her career got a little vapid at one point when it got into the Klaus Ogerman stuff and all the strings. Because she was great, the trio. She was likened to the Nat Cole trio to me. I mean, she was a great piano player and a great vocalist, and I loved her early stuff.
Oh, no, absolutely. She's tremendous.
Yeah. Listen to a lot of Ella?
Yes, no, I love Ella, but I think when I sort of was starting, I really loved the piano trios.
Yeah.
So I loved Oscar Peterson and Ray Brown, Monty Alexander, Benny Green,
Right.
Gene Harris was my
Gene
favorite.
Harris with
absolute
Ron
favorite.
Eshday,
Exactly.
that was a great group.
One of the albums I listened to so much was the Gene Harris and the Philip Morris Super Band.
Yes.
With Ernie Andrews
Used to
singing
play
Our
it.
Love Is Here to
I
Stay.
used to play it a lot.
Right there, it's just fantastic. John Clayton's arrangements, just the very best, you know.
Best live show you ever saw? Any genre?
Best live show. Well, I used to go to the Boston Symphony Orchestra when I was a student. So Mahler's Fifth is my absolute favorite work.
Yeah.
The slow movement in that is really beautiful. Maybe we go with that.
Is it?
Yeah.
I see. Now, do you write music in addition to lyrics?
Yes.
I mean, you write, a Branford Marsalis is dropping a name as I do, is a good buddy of mine. He does a lot of sacred work.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. Do you do that as well?
Well, I haven't,
Yeah.
but I definitely love choral music as well, which is very sacred, I think, based. So, I mean, and I love the blues and gospel music as well. But no, I at the moment I love writing tunes sort of in the style of the Great American Songbook.
I was just going to say, you certainly, in addition to your original stuff, you know your way around standards, and you're very comfortable with them. And what I particularly like about you, and I've said this to Paula West many times, is that you bring something new to the table with an arrangement, and you kind of make it your own, and that's the idea.
I really try to do that because Ella Fitzgerald, she's the greatest, and nobody can do it better than her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
what am I, Sarah
Right.
Mckenzie, going to
Exactly.
do? You know, so I
Exactly.
have to bring something of myself, my personality. So I try my best.
How many CDs do you have?
I have 4
I know
CDs.
none right now because you sold them all, but you have 4 out.
I have 4 and 1 on the way. We just did a recording in New York City, and I'm really excited about it.
Who did you do that with?
With some incredible musicians, with Donald Edwards on the drums.
Okay.
He's playing today.
Who's playing today? Okay.
Yes, and Pierre Boussaguet from France. He's a student of Ray Brown's on the bass. Dan Wilson, great young guitarist. And myself and some special guests, Troy Roberts on the tenor saxophone.
So tonight you've got John Story on guitar.
Yeah, that's right.
Alex
Bonham
on bass, and the drummer is
Donald Edwards.
Donald Edwards. So it's an interesting combination.
You think so?
Yeah, it is. I mean, you would think there might have been a horn in there at some point, but was that by design?
Well, I think the quartet's fantastic
The
to
band
deal
didn't
with.
want to split it 4 ways. Basically, that's how that works.
No, I mean, it's great to work with a quartet.
Yeah.
The great advantage of working with the guitar is that, they're a soloing instrument and also they're a comping instrument.
Yeah.
So if I want to lay out and just sing, I can do that. Or if you just have a horn player, they can't comp as well.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
it's great to have a guitarist, I think. But I love playing with
And
horn
John
players
Story is
too.
excited about meeting you.
Oh,
he
absolutely.
said-
I'm
he
excited
said-
about meeting
I
him.
learned all 30 arrangements. I said, well, good for you. So
Fantastic.
It's going to be an exciting evening. So I had lunch with John and Alex, and John, of course, as I just mentioned, hasn't met you. Alex knows you from years ago.
That's right. We actually met in high school.
You met in
so
high school.
at the age of
Was
15.
there a story there? Did we date or anything?
No. Alex has been my brother for the longest time.
Okay, so here's what I did. I said, tell me an embarrassing thing that only...
Oh, no, you didn't.
No.
Did he tell you about the
hang on.
underwater swimming competitions?
No.
Okay.
No, but I'll listen to that in a second. I said, tell me something that she'll be shocked that I know. And he said, now, don't kill him. He said, ask about her dad operating on their dog.
Oh, no. No. That never happened.
And I went, what a great story. I have this image of a pug with a Labrador head and some kind of weird deal, but...
I nearly got in big trouble for that.
Tell me the island of Dr. Moreau. Tell me the underwater story.
Well, no, I mean...
I'll tell this on stage and make fun of him. This is good.
No, Alex and I have been, we have been friends and only friends since the age of 15. And we've always been very competitive, because he's a great bassist and, I always wanted to, be as good as him and, so we would always go in competitions and someone would win and the other person would win. But we used to have these underwater swimming competitions in the hotel pools where we would try to outswim each other. And I think I'd done about 4 laps of the pool without breathing, and I thought I had won, nearly going blue in the face. And then Alex did a 5th one, but he came up and he's like, okay, that's it. So, no, we're great friends. He's a great bass player. He's been in the Thelonious Monk Institute.
Oh, he has, yeah.
Playing with Herbie Hancock and Wayne Shorter. So
he's
incredible.
Done very well. Oh, do you have a stellar group behind you? And they certainly have a stellar talent in front of them. We got a couple of minutes left. New CDs coming out when?
Next year in January at this point. Yes.
And folks, by the time they see this, you will already. I know you're doing Kwamba.
Yes.
You're doing SF Jazz, but that's all this week.
Right, and Portland the following week.
Oh, you're going up to Portland, which is Story's hometown.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
Good. So we can finally say hello to the folks that keeps not returning the letters. Bucket list. What do you got that you want to do? A strings only CD, or what do you want to do?
Oh, I want to do so many things. I would love to play at Carnegie Hall.
All right.
I think I loved that moment of playing my original tune with orchestra, and I think it was only just too short. So doing a concert with my own songs arranged for the orchestra would be really an amazing thing to do.
So for your visit here, we're going to do some American standards and,
and some of my own tunes,
or universal, and some of your own things.
Yeah.
Well, we're delighted, and I'm excited. There's no greater joy to me than discovering a new voice and a new approach, and someone that
Thank you.
that embodies what the future of jazz is all about. The future of jazz is in good hands and good voice.
Thank you very
Sarah,
much.
Thank you. Good to have you. Sarah Mckenzie. That's Jazz Tonight. Next week is Blue Wednesday, and our friend Chris Kane will be here. And then, I can't believe it's nearly over, the following week we close with Pete Escovedo. Good having you with us. Until next time, I'm Jacobi. I'll see you soon.